Here is Karin Bosveld, and I'm waiting for a sign to know for sure that I'm live now. Let's see. Yes, here we are. So, welcome, whether you're watching live or in the replay. I'm going to tell you the secret, the answer to most of your struggles. I I promised this morning. It was this crazy idea I had a while ago, actually, um, to to just tell you how simple it is. Um, I was almost going to say what I do. That's not true. How simple it is to solve most issues. However, we don't find it easy, but I'll get to that later. These are challenging times. Um, Very challenging. I think life is always challenging for most of us, but this year um, has put many people in survival mode. Many people actually, not some people, many people, many people's lives are actually in danger. Um, some people because of climate change, some people because of political circumstances, wars, um, oppression. But of course, the pandemic is also putting people's health in danger. Um, some of you may have lost people to this disease um, and other diseases, obviously. Um, but the pandemic has also put people out of their livelihoods, of course. Many people, I don't think there are that many people who are not affected by it in some ways. And what happens is that we feel under threat. Even if you still got your job, you will be affected in some way. You may be worried about losing it. The circumstances may have changed in such a way that it's giving you stress. Um, you may have children, if that is the case, children who go to school, if that is the case, that is, I know from so many mothers that is the case for, the cause for a lot of stress. You've had to homeschool them, but now that they're back to school, that doesn't give you much peace of mind either. So many of you are under a lot of stress. And how do you keep afloat? How do you stay sane? How do you manage? How do you prevent yourself from going under? That's the baseline, right? Not going under. But ideally, you you'd have some fun. You'd enjoy life. That's what we all want, right? To feel happy, to feel empowered. But that's really difficult, and that is something we can hardly imagine is attainable when we don't feel safe. Um, Now, the clients I work with usually come to me um, when they are under stress, um, and the causes vary, obviously. And oftentimes they do not identify their problem as stress so much. They call it unhappiness, they call it stuckness, lack of direction, not knowing their purpose, maybe um, doubting whether they're on the right path, um, feeling annoyed because they're not financially independent or not financially as successful as they feel they should be or could be. But all these things cause tension within the system, right? And that causes stress. And what stress does is it messes with our immune system. So we get all sorts of physical complaints as well. Now, of course, I have all kinds of tools and a variety of ways of getting my clients where they want to be. But there is one word that summarizes, I'd say, everything I teach them. And the one word is self-care. Or one step further, self-love. Because when we love ourselves, I think it follows that we take excellent care of ourselves. However, I should add, I'm not talking, or not just talking, about self-care in the wellness sense. I'm not talking about bubble baths and massages, although they're wonderful and you should absolutely have them. But I am talking radical self-care. I am talking putting yourself first in your life, making yourself your top priority, body, mind, and soul. So self-care in the glossies is usually about the body, right? Taking excellent care of the body. Now, this is mega important, I agree. But the body and the mind and the soul are one system. And it will not do to take care of just one of the three. You have to take care of the whole system. And a major reason why we do not take care of ourselves enough is because we hardly understand ourselves. We do not understand our workings at a deep, fundamental level. And the reason why we don't is usually trauma. I call this trauma, and what I mean by trauma is that at a young age we've been shamed or punished for some sort of self-expression, and we've adapted. So we've taken on strategic behavior and become alienated from our source, from our true selves. And that is like a domino effect. Like we make, in many moments as a child, we make choices that are geared to getting what we want and need from those who are taking care of us. So we are very attuned to how they operate and what they need and what they want from us, and we become strategic creatures without knowing it. Of course, it's adaptation, and it's very apt adaptation, I'd say, because it works, because it does help us get what we need and want usually. But it also alienates us from our authenticity and our information system. So self-care, in essence, has to do with going back to basics, reconnecting to our source, reconnecting to our authenticity. And that usually asks some dusting off and some rewiring, because we have become creatures of habit, right? Strategic behavior has become very ingrained in us. So the answer is simple. It's one word. It's self-care, or self-love if you wish. The road asks for a bit of knowledge and technique. And I have really, really, really powerful tools that I use with my clients. and get some awesome results. So, they reconnect to their purpose, they course correct, they cut out all the things they were doing just to please others, because they're now aware that that is just fluff in their lives and isn't giving them the satisfaction. Um, they they um, they clean up their business, focus on what they really want in their business, become the leader in their business. Um, they divorce the husband who they've been trying to divorce from for 10 years, but didn't have the courage, or were just doubting them too much. They take radical decisions, and because they get so in touch with what makes them tick and what makes them happy, they become happier and healthier, make healthier choices for themselves as well. Now, working one-on-one with me is like my highest end product, because I work very intensively, and my one-on-one clients are really my VIPs. They get a lot of my attention and a lot of my tools. But I've been thinking, self-care is so needed for so many of you, and I know that not everybody is in a position to work with me on the one-on-one level. So I've been looking how I could make some of that available to a bigger group. And so here is my news.